Hey guys, welcome to the woods. It's funny, I hear an airplane going over here. So my first thing I always start with anyway is the helicopter view, but that's the airplane view. But really, I think I've really moved on to spaceship view, which is where I've really always gone anyway, but I just call it helicopter view because people call it so. If I call it spaceship view, then you know I'm talking about something else. And when you see a spaceship flying through the sky, you'll like, oh yeah, I gotta remember who I really am. I don't know, maybe the helicopter's a better reminder. We hear more helicopters. All right, anyway. So what is the big picture? The big picture is, I always like to start with, I'm an energy ball. We know that. We know that my body is made up of 0.0001% actual matter. It's little, tiniest little particles spinning around really fast in this sort of vibrational hum, like energy would do. When energy creates matter, that's how it does it. Who cares why? There's so much more depth to it that we don't get anyway. But to act like there's some part here, there's some body here, that something outside of it could harm me, is where I'm going. It's like, come on. That's, and then the spiritual people who tell you how to get into that harmony with that energy ball of who you really are, and control it and use it as a frequency receiver that it is, and starts receiving the frequency of whatever it is that you're tuned to, whatever's your interest, will come so much easier to you and with such flow, whether it's music or dance or discoveries or even discoveries, really, though it's all dreamy stuff. You just dream and feel your most loving, happy version of yourself, which is out here in the ethers of your existence, and you bring in that radio frequency. So like a radio frequency, all radio stations are playing in your living room. It's just, what are you tuned to? What are you picking up? So when I think about myself as this energy ball, and then I know that I'm on a planet that's spinning around the sun, and all of our solar system is spinning around at the same time, and the moon's spinning around us, and we're spinning around ourselves. Whew, it's a lot of craziness. And that whole craziness is spinning around the galaxy. It takes 24,000 years. So that 24,000 year cycle of the planet Earth around the galaxy has an effect on us. Planet location is important. So we're in a tricky spot. What tricky means is that this other 95% of your brain, which is all about reading the ethers of vibrational energy around us and receiving and transmitting like a cell phone, that energy ball of who I really am has an ability through the brain to communicate with that and be more of a procreator in the atmosphere around itself. And that's kind of vague, but the contrary is that when we are where we are now in the galaxy, or really where we were, the peak of it, the worst, coldest, darkest part was what we called the Dark Ages. So back then, we were the most blocked off from the other 95% of our brains that read this vibrational atmosphere around us and pull together the synchronicities and the magic and the what seems like trickery of the world around us, miracles, whatever you want to call it. That magical part that happens around us, the placebo, if you want to call it that. It's all the same stuff. That magical connection, lots of people have done it, and lots of people have talked about it, and lots of people have said how profound it is for them and everyone around them, and lots of them have given us great gifts of insights for humanity. So it's the power that creates worlds, and you can tap into it. But to tap into it, you've got to get the sun out of your eyes. Thank goodness I got this hat on. It's like, all of a sudden, there was no sun out before. I didn't realize I would have sat the other way. But anyway, get what you get. All right, so where was I before the sun so violently distracted me? All right, so we're out here from the helicopter view. You just got to always go back to that. It's good to remind ourselves about that anyway, and do it right now. As the energy ball, traveling 24,000 years around the galaxy, we're at a low point where I'm disconnected. Like the radio frequency just doesn't get this far. It's no problem. It's very difficult to connect to my outer energy ball and to realize who I really am. So my animal part runs the show. He's skittish and scared and doesn't have any idea who he is. And that's fine. But there's a whole bunch of us on the planet, and we tend to squabble a bit. So there's a lot of funkiness going on around us. But you got to turn away from that, because that funkiness just creates more funkiness, and you carry the vibration of the world. Let me tell you how the world works. It's funky, people are mean, people are cruel, people do mean things, there's lots of victims out there, and you carry that narrative to your next generation or all the people around you, and how does that help anybody? It doesn't. But the neat thing is, it's not just a matter of saying don't carry that anymore, because that's not easy to do. It's not an easy dialogue to put down. It's not easy to ignore what's happening around you. While you try to reinterpret your world, go to the helicopter view, the spaceship view of who you really are and what's at stake here. Nothing. There's nothing at stake here. You're an energy ball. You came from infinity, you're going back to infinity. What difference does it make? So, be courageous. Build on your self-worthy. Self-worthiness is really so key. I don't want to just sort of throw it in with that sentence. That needs to be a whole video on itself. Self-worthiness is what bumps you up energetically to higher vibrations, or tunes you into the higher frequencies of who you really are, which is really the other piece that's interesting to think about. All your alternative versions of who you are right here in your in your aura, or your vortex, as Abraham Hicks likes to call it, or your ethers, like the scientists like to call it. But that energy around us, we know, we can watch it, we can see it, we know your brain works outside in it, we know it affects the ethers of other people joining them. And so the science knows all this stuff. We know who we really are on a much higher level than we carry around on the streets. On the streets, you would think we're just, animals that are victim to the next hidden virus that's going to come get us. We're so much more powerful than that. All understanding about what's going on around us is right here, around us. And you just need to tune in. As I like to say, tune in, tap in, turn on, with a little lunch in between. Anyway, Abraham Hicks came up with that one too. I really like it. Tuned in, tapped in, turned on. When I'm in that state, I'm feeling the perfection. I'm sensing who I really am. I'm sensing my real connection on this planet. I feel the ease of not needing to do anything. The doing part is the animal part of you that wants to prove itself and make itself worthy by doing something. You don't do something to be worthy. You just feel worthy. And when you feel worthy and you feel the power, then you just have to pause, slow down your life for a bit, put something down, have some quiet time. You don't have to meditate like I'm not going to think. You're thinking about this kind of stuff. You're thinking, okay, the way it works is I feel something around me. It comes into your mind. What comes to your thoughts? What's your best dream of yourself? Not what does someone else think you should be doing? What does the news say? What's popular with my friends? Don't ask other people about this. Because as soon as you tune into someone else's words, it's coming in through the ear vibrations of another person's interpretation of their energy, is not at all where you're going. So you got to get away from it. That's why I'm in the woods. You got to get away from people. And then you can talk to yourself and walk, and you can put your earbuds in, and you can listen to some people who tick you up to the helicopter view, but there's not many of us. So you really got to be careful. Matt Kahn, Abraham Hicks, Neil Donald Walsh with Conversations with God, but that's kind of old stuff, and there's so much more newer interpretation. The newer interpretations are coming and coming. But there's all kinds of channels out there and stuff. Anyway, I had some that I like, but I don't really know which ones to steer you to. I think you just kind of got to feel your way through, because it might depend on sort of what's your background. My hat's all crooked from being in my backpack. I don't know, I needed it because the sun was out then. I don't need it now. And anyway. All right, so back to the story. So I'm going to try to work on this one being shorter, because I think a lot of these points I can get across once I sort of get some groundwork with everybody again. I feel like I made videos for a while, then I took a break for a while. I think I'm back to the videos. I think it's the easiest way to it helps me in the I am message. This is basically an I am message to the universe. This is who I am. I am an energy ball. I'm not restricted by my perception of the current world around me. I know I have infinite power. I know I have infinite ability to tap into this ether around me, to my vortex, to my aura, and that all possibilities are coming at me. It's just me choosing the highest one, and the highest one will be chosen. That'll be the most loving, the most giving. But you can't push a give. You just have to feel your way to feeling honored to do what you're doing. It seems all kind of mysterious, but those are only kind of words that kind of touch it, but really words don't touch it. You got to just feel it. And it's a day by day, you got to keep building on it. That go to the helicopter view, go into the minutia of how I think things are always going right for me, and they always unfold in what I'm thinking, and that only my fears and restrictions and self-doubt conversations and any little hints of unworthiness and all those little narratives, when they come into my mind, that's my strings tying me down. So when they come to your mind, you just have to love on that string a little bit and say, you don't have to hold me down. Whatever I did to the past that I think I hurt someone else, that's irrelevant. They're not really victims. It's just us playing with our vibration together. I'm not a perpetrator of evil, and they're not victims. We're all just walking in the dark. It's much like that. You're walking in the dark and you bang into people, and people are scared, and they bang into someone and they throw them down and say, watch out for me, and crazy stuff when you're walking in the dark. Kids walking in the dark. What do you want out of us? So, there's nothing we've ever done wrong. There's nothing you could do wrong. There's nothing you can do wrong to this planet going 24,000 years around the galaxy while it spins around the sun. Does not care. It's not so much like I don't care, like who cares about you because you're just a little peon person on planet Earth. No, it's you're part of this collective vibration, which we call the God source energy life of the galaxy, of the universe. And we're all connected, we're all part of it. So, me as a cup of water any less significant than the ocean? No, and to me and my cup of water, I'm everything. And I have unlimited capability to tap into the power of that ocean. And so that's what's coming our way now. We're moving into a sense where we're going to use the other 95% of our brain. And that's when we get back to that other part of the galaxy where we're going to be that God source. I'm not a big preacher guy. I don't really, I know the Bible, but I don't reference it. I feel like such an old story has been reinterpreted by such old paradigms, and the wording and the twisting of it and the manipulation for the basis of control and fear and all that type of stuff. But there's some basic love messages in there that really everybody can kind of resonate with, so I don't mind pulling those up. But anyway, Jesus definitely said that these things I'm doing that you call miracles, you're going to do them and more. And that we needed forgiveness. That was a big thing. It's like, well, forgiveness for what? I did something wrong? No, it's not forgiveness of doing anything wrong. Forgive yourself. That's where the worthiness comes from. When you love on yourself and you see you could do no wrong, when you go really deep into forgiveness, there's nothing to be forgiven for. You're perfect. You can't hurt this planet spinning around the galaxy. It's not our job to keep it spinning, and we can't stop it from spinning. And we're an energy ball, so what's going to happen to me anyway? I just continue to be an energy ball, and I come in and try again, and I go out and I'm an energy ball, and I come in and I try again, and I go out and I'm an energy ball. And that's happening all over the galaxy. And you get to move to other parts of the galaxy as you change your challenges and your vibration. So don't judge what other people are doing here and what they're doing and say other people are doing things wrong and this is bad and that person's no good and there's no way God likes that. And people are here experiencing and doing what their own thing. And you can't know, I can hardly know what my own higher self, my own energy ball's pre-existence and future existence, what's its agenda? I came in, I feel I have a nudge to do certain things, to understand certain things, to tell certain stories. I've got another half of a life to unfold. So I don't really know where my heart's desire is going to go, where my path of least resistance is going to lead me, where my tuned in, tapped in, turned on energy ball, pulling in the most vibrant, loving radio station frequency I can absorb and putting that out to the world as whatever my flower is. That sense of me, that part of me, don't feel any limitation. Definitely no sense of unworthiness or lack. That's one of the things that teachers teach us, is that there is no lack on this planet. There's nothing, we've never brought anything to the planet. Look what we've accomplished so far. We got a long way to go. And here's the fun last thing. So I've talked about this before, but this tuning into your ethers, it's tricky. It's so simple, but it's difficult. But step one is just feeling like you're worthy of it. Just jump on board and go within and quiet your mind. And, there's so many paths to take you there and so many people to lead you. The path will just be let out if you feel like that's what's coming. Oh, that's what's coming. Enlightenment for me. That's what's coming. And just follow that sniff, that feeling, and try to keep brewing up that feeling. When things feel funky, just put them down and say, wait a minute, go back to the helicopter view. What do I care who they call the president of the United States right now? It don't make any difference. It's all a reaction to our vibration. It's just showing you who we are, or really who we have been. Some of it in the way distant future and some of it in the recent past. But who we've been is creating the reality we experience around us. So I just say, is everyone still tuned to the same frequency of fear, doubt, and struggle, and work hard? We'll fight our way out of this problem? I think so. I think most people are still stuck on that paradigm. But at the other side is, go within, love yourself, get connected. You connect, and you learn how to connect, and you'll teach everyone around you without teaching them, just because they'll vibrationally match up to you. You unwind the ropes that hold you down, the fears and the self-doubts and the unworthiness. You let go of that and unwind it in your own life. And you won't be winding up other people, because that's what happens. When you're wound up, you wind other people up in the same thing. And that's how you keep yourself all locked down. You keep it real, and because it's all energetic holding. It's nothing really holding you. But you feel like it's holding you down, and it's permanent because you've been carrying that fear vibration for so long. It became now your belief, and belief became your personality. And it's just how you step out every morning after you wake up. Like, yeah, nope, this is who I am. And you go in the same routine, same thing, same days, and you're going to get the same results. And I always encourage you, just put something down. Create a vacuum, a spot in your day, and go within and find your inner child who's in there scared of what its power really would be if it came out. What if I did have no self of unworthiness? That would be a power I don't know how to control. And deep inside, that's there for everybody. I got a little sense of, I don't know, if I'm able to let that real me out. And that's this worthiness again. Are you worthy? Are you, those types of things. So it's a vicious cycle. We just keep going around. But start with the helicopter view, go into the details. Feels funky, go back out to the helicopter view. Feels good, it's easy. And then you go into the details of your life and the situations, and you apply the helicopter view into the things that are happening today. And from the helicopter view, I don't really get all worked up about, who the players are in the soap opera we call the political system. They're going to have another actor next year who's going to play the same part. But there's a part to be played because people want it played, because energetically we're attracted to it. Whatever you draw your interest to, that's what you bloom. So draw your interest to your most powerful version of the vibrational ball of love that you are. And just be more loving. Start now. All right, I went a little bit less. It's 19 minutes instead of 20. All right, so that's it. Sorry, can't keep it under 20 apparently. It started as 10, then it went to 15. And I guess now that I've taken a break for a while, I'm back at it. Maybe it's 20 minutes till I get caught up. I'll try to cut them back. But anyway, who cares? So I ate up those last 30 seconds. So I do love you guys. And, I'm not going to should on myself by saying I'll see you tomorrow. But I'll probably see you tomorrow. I just think this is my path of least resistance. This is easy. All right. Do love you guys. And throw the love bombs. Remember that. And get out in the woods. It's a beautiful time of year. Whoo-wee. All right. Talk to you soon.